Here's a quick way you can create bottles inside Blender. First, we're going to tab into edit mode, we'll press M, and we're going to collapse all the vertices into a single point. We'll press 1 to go to front view, I'm going to press E to extrude that vertice, I'll press X to lock it in the X-axis, and then maybe I'll just bump it out right about there. I'll then press E to extrude again, I'm going to hold the control key, and then just kind of move it out somewhere around there, and then I'll press E again, and then I'll extrude it back, right around there, and then I'm going to press E and kind of extrude the neck of the bottle, maybe somewhere around here, and then I'll extrude it once more and kind of go maybe right about this position. Alright, and I'm going to select this vertex point. We can press Ctrl B to add a bevel, and then press V for vertex. And I'm going to scroll this up to maybe 4 points, and then maybe come right about there. I can select this vertex and this vertex with Shift, then press Ctrl B and then V to add a bevel. But this time I'm only going to do 2 segments, and then just kind of smooth out the curve, so it's somewhere around there. If we tab into object mode, we can kind of see the shape here. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go into my modifier stack, add a modifier, then under generate, I'm going to add a screw modifier. Now currently you see it looks very strange, but if we come to our viewport overlays, we can enable face orientation, and we can see we have some inverted normals. Under our screw modifier settings, there's a normal section. You can try enabling the calculate over or calculate order, and that'll probably fix the issue. If not, enable flip. Worst case scenario, you can just apply the geometry, and then afterwards you can flip the normals with Shift N. But let's go ahead and apply this because it looks correct now. I will disable my face orientation. And then what I can do is under generate, I'm going to add a subsurf modifier to kind of smooth out the angles. And then I'm going to add a solidify modifier. And then I'm going to bump the thickness to maybe 0.05, somewhere around there. I can tab into edit mode, press Ctrl R, add a loop cut, and we can add some supporting loops, kind of fill out our geometry. I also don't like the bottom geometry, so I'm going to go to face select, and I'll press C for circle select. Highlight all those faces, press X, delete them. I'll go to edge mode, hold Alt, click this inside loop, press F to fill. And then I'm going to add a supporting loop with Ctrl R, and then I'll just bump it down right about there. Then I'll go to face select, highlight this face here. I'm going to press I to add an inset, and then I'll press I again to add a center inset, and I can just press GZ and just kind of push this up so it has a little bit of a lip. And I think starting off, that looks pretty good for our little glass bottle that we're trying to make. Now let's go ahead and set up the materials for it. So we'll go to our shading workspace, kind of zoom in here. Now we already have a material on it. The transmission option on your principal BSDF is basically how well light will basically pass through your material or transmit through your material. So for things like glass and water, you typically want a value of 1 or pretty close to that. And then if we come to our shader workspace here, you can see it looks a little bit like glass. I'm going to go into my scene options and switch this to GPU, and I'll enable denoise to maybe help out a bit. There we go. Now we can use the roughness value to kind of finish off and get that kind of glass look. You don't have to go all the way to 0. You can add a little bit, so it's not super crystal clear. It's kind of, I guess, whatever style you're going for. And then we can even maybe add a tint. So maybe if we add like a little bluish tint to it, so maybe that looks pretty good. And then I can maybe bring in an icosphere with an emissive on there. Oops. Bump this up here. And then we can go back to our layout, take a look, see how this looks. And then yeah, just like that, you can quickly and easily create bottles inside Blender. I hope this helps.